Alright guys, so today I'm going to show you a really fun little trick, and this is what it looks like. So we can start by having the deck be completely shuffled, and I should mention this can also be a completely borrowed deck of cards as well. So as you can see, every single card is shuffled and different. So for this trick, we're going to have the spectator just reach in and take a peek at any card. Hopefully you guys can see that card. My head is turned, but as you can see, we're going to just take that card and shuffle it somewhere back into the center of the deck, just completely losing it somewhere in the pack. All right, so I'm gonna make a very bold claim right now. I'm gonna try to make your card, whatever it is, jump into my pocket without you seeing. Okay, so here we go on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Done. Your card is now inside of my pocket. Look, my hand is empty. Show you one card and one card only inside of my pocket. The 6 of diamonds. Yeah, that was your card. Great, amazing. So, oh, wait, sorry, I didn't actually show you the card. You want to see it, right? Okay, here, I'll go ahead and show it to you, because I know some people don't believe me that your card is actually in here, but no, yeah, 6 of diamonds really is inside of my pocket. Okay, now, you can have your guesses on how this is done. The most popular guess is that I have the card secretly hidden inside of my palm like this, so that I kind of pretend like my hand is empty when I reach into the pocket, and then when I, pull out the card from the pocket, I'm actually just pulling out the card that was in my hand that was, hidden. Well, that's actually not what's happening here. So let's go ahead, we'll take the 6, put it back in the middle, right? So I'll show you this again, but this time I'll be very, very, careful to show my hands, okay? So here we go on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. There it is, it's done again. Look, hand is completely empty. My other hand is also completely empty, just in case. Just want to be very, very open. Look, once again, inside of my pocket, there's only one card in there, and it should be, once again, the 6 of diamonds. I can also mention that this could be the signed card by the spectator. So this really can be a very unique card in the deck. So, okay, I know you want to see this one more time, so fine. We'll go ahead and we'll do this one more time. So let's go ahead, shuffle the cards back into the middle, just like this. And this time, once again, I'll be very, very careful to show my hands, but here we go. 1, 2, 3. Look, hand completely empty. Once again, the 6 of diamonds is now inside of my pocket. Wait, hold on. Oh, sorry, this happens sometimes. It's actually a bit of a glitch where the other pocket, the card is in here instead. Let me just pull it out. It's a little stuck. There we go. Wait, ace of diamonds, that wasn't it. Okay, wait, hold on. Snap again. Should be right here. 9 of clubs, wait a minute. Oh, sorry, I know what happened. Yeah, the entire deck actually managed to somehow jump in the pocket, leaving me with just one single card, your card, the 6 of diamonds. And that right there is the trick. If you guys want to learn how it's done, be sure to stick around for the tutorial. Alright guys, so here's the tutorial for the card to pocket routine. This is a really, really fun routine that I love doing all the time, and I love that it has 3 very distinct phases that all hit very, very hard. And yeah, it's pretty simple to do, and I will show you exactly how it's done right now. So the only preparation that you're going to need for this trick is to take any card out of the deck and secretly get it into your right pocket. Now, there's many ways to go about this. You can still borrow a deck from a spectator, because I did mention in the performance that this can be a borrowed deck, and that is completely true. Before the performance starts, all you got to do is just secretly take a card in your palm. It does not matter what the card is at all. This is a completely random card, and just slide that into your pocket, and then you're ready to go. So now you can begin this trick with any borrowed deck of cards, and you will basically have the spectator shuffle and then select any card out of the deck. It truly doesn't matter. Let's say we have the ace of diamonds over here. All you're going to do is take this card and control it back to the top of the deck. So I just did this by doing a very messy control where I hold a break on the card. I'll drop little piles until I get to the break right here. So here's their card, and once I'm at the break, I'm just going to split this in half and then kind of pretend to take cards off, and then keep throwing the cards down and make sure that the last pile thrown contains their card on top, so that their card will end on top of the deck. So at this point, once the card is on top, you don't have to do this, but what I like to do is get a peek at the card so that you can actually name the card before you reveal it inside of your pocket. And there's many ways to go about this. You can just rotate the deck and peel that card off a little bit so you can see it on the corner. So I see the ace of diamonds here. You can also further shuffle the deck move that card to the bottom of the deck and then flip the deck over like this and get the peek at the card, and then cut it back up to the top if you want to do that. There's multiple ways to get a peek at that card. And you don't have to do this. This part is not necessary whatsoever, but I like to do this because it makes it a little bit more realistic when you snap your fingers and now say that their card is inside of your pocket. There's no sleight of hand in this part. All you're gonna do is reach your empty hand into your pocket with the card that you previously loaded and remove that card and take a look at it yourself. You're not gonna flip it over though, because this is not the ace of diamonds, but what you're gonna do is misname it as the ace of diamonds. Name it like a question and just say, ace of diamonds, was that your card? And they're gonna say yes, and then you will just very casually place this back in your pocket and say, yeah, I know, that's great. And this will kind of come off as a bit weird, a bit of a joke, because you didn't actually show them the card, and they might now ask you to see it. And as they're asking the question to see it, you're gonna get the deck in the position for a one-handed top palm, and you will actually palm their real selection into your hand just like this. So you do that as you now reach into the pocket, and now you will pretend to remove the same card, but you will just be removing the card in your palm. So you reach your hand into your pocket, and then you will pull out the card that was in your palm, and this really will be the ace of diamonds. So now you explain to them that they might have a hunch of you palming the card, but you will assure them that that is not the case, and you'll just prove it right now. And you're going to explain the process of palming by taking their selection, placing it in your palm. In the act of explaining what you are actually doing, you're actually going to be switching the card for the other random card that is still in your pocket. So you're going to explain that you are holding the card in your palm and then pretending to pull it out of your pocket, and you're going to reach your hand inside of your pocket, and what you're going to do is drop that ace of diamonds inside of your pocket, and you're going to remove the other random card that you actually placed in there earlier. This will continue to look like the same card simply because you are giving an example, and the spectators are not going to believe that anything fishy is happening at this point in the trick. So now what you do is say, okay, we'll take the ace of diamonds. You can peek at it one more time yourself. Just make sure not to flip it over. But I like to name it one more time and drop it in the deck. And now you can really shuffle that card into the middle, because that was not their selection whatsoever. Their selection is already inside of your pocket. You are one step ahead. So now once again, you will snap your fingers and you can truly show your hand empty. And this is the best part, because you really do pull their selection out of your pocket with an empty hand, and it just seems completely impossible. So at this point, the final phase of the trick, I like to take the card and I will pretend to slip it in the middle. I'm just doing a false slip control. That's what the control looks like in slow motion. I have made a short on the tutorial for this move right here, so if you want to learn how to do that, go ahead and check that out. But basically that card is on top of the deck, and then what I do is just kind of shuffle it around. I'll move it to the bottom of the deck, and then I will shuffle it back up to the top, just maintaining that card on the top just like this. So now it's back on top. And at this point, what I do is say, all right, one more time, it'll be exactly the same. Snap your fingers, and now you're gonna reach inside your right hand pocket, and what I do is pull out my pocket, and it will appear to be empty. I'll pretend like I messed up the trick, like that wasn't supposed to happen, because that sort of gives you misdirection for the next part of the trick, where you say, actually, oh, you know what, sometimes it jumps to the other pocket. And what you're gonna do is you're going to simply get a break on the top card, and then you're going to literally take the entire deck away in your left hand as you turn your entire body towards the left, so that you can now ditch the entire deck into your left pocket. And now what you will do is you will simply grab onto the top or bottom card and pull that out, showing that a card is inside of your pocket. However, this is not the selection, so they'll be a bit confused. And what I do is I keep holding their selection as if it were an entire deck. I'm gonna hold the card like this so that it kind of gives the illusion that this is still a bunch of cards, so that they can't see the depth of how many cards I'm holding. And now I'll pretend like this messed up, and now once again I'll reach into my pocket, pull out one more single card. They'll say it's wrong, and now what I'll do is pull out about half the deck, and I'll say, actually what happened was the entire deck jumped in, so I pull about half the deck, and then I'll pull out the remaining half. So now every single card is out of my pocket, and that should give them enough time to react to the crazy twist ending of the entire deck being in my pocket, and enough time to give them the final kicker ending of their selection being the only card in my hand. What I do is transfer the card to my hand like this, and I sort of leave it elevated, and then I'll clap the card into my hand like this, so that it creates the illusion like the deck is vanishing. And then I'll flip it over, and there's their card. But yeah, that is the trick. And as you can see, it's pretty simple method-wise. There's not much going on. However, it's a really, really fun routine. I love doing this to people, and the twist endings really do catch people by surprise. So definitely recommend trying this one out. I think it's a really fun trick to perform. And yeah, let me know how it goes. So anyways, hopefully you guys like this trick, and yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.